Thank you, Victoria. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second half of today's workshop, which is titled Contract Payment Tracking. Okay, so we're going to be going over, as you can see from my agenda, the roles and responsibilities, okay, of the prime and the subcontractor as it relates to reporting payments. We're also going to be going over the email notification process, as well as the importance of subcontractor payment confirmations. It's very important. We're going to go over payment discrepancies, and finally, who to contact if you have any issues, okay, with the system or with payments. Okay, good enough? All right. So just give you an overview, basically. So what we're going to definitely dive into is the payment process as it relates to our tracking system, certification and compliance /C2 or C2 system, and the importance of reporting payments, not only from the prime's point of view, but from the subcontractor's point of view. Okay? All right. So basically this next slide is the entire process regarding the audit, payment, compliance, okay, and how this works. The contract is basically awarded, okay, it's uploaded into C2. We in the compliance department set up the contract based on the Schedule C's and the Schedule D's that are outlined in the contract that you heard about in the prior workshop. Okay, once the City of Chicago makes the first payment, all right, to the prime contractor, that triggers the audit payment process. Okay, so what that does, the City of Chicago makes a payment, all right, to you, the prime contractor, and with that email, then an email notification goes out to the prime contractor, okay, stating payment's been made to your firm. Okay, you are to log into the C2 website, onto the C2 website, to go into C2 and confirm that payment. Okay, once you go in as a prime contractor and you confirm that payment, the email notification also tells you to report all your payments that are made to your subcontractors. Okay, once you make payments to your subcontractor, I don't care if it's $1 or $0. Okay, you have to report some type of payment that was made to the subcontractor. Once you report all of your payments that you made to your subcontractor, email notifications go out to them. The email notification is exactly the same. It tells them, hey, a payment's been, the prime contractor's made a payment to your firm. You are to sign into C2 and confirm that payment. Okay? All right, we have another participant. Welcome. Okay, so after the subcontractor goes into C2 and they confirm that payment that's been made to them by the prime contractor, they confirm it, that pretty much completes the audit payment cycle for that month. Okay, and this cycle continues on a monthly basis until the contract's complete. That makes sense? Okay. Let's go on. We'll talk about that towards the end. Okay? So before we go to the next slide, I want to just mention the overall purpose of this process is to sort of promote transparency, okay, between, the prime contractor, subcontractor, and the City of Chicago. We want to make certain that you're reporting the payments, okay. The City of Chicago is reporting the paying the prime contractor is paying its MBE, WBE, or DBE partners, so that the compliance plan can be met, okay, so that no damages are assessed at the time of closeout of the contract, okay? All right. So once that, like I said before, once the payment, the city of Chicago has made a payment to the prime contractor, the prime contractor receives an email, okay, telling them to go to this particular website. That's the chicago.diversitycompliance.com. So you go to that website, you sign in, okay, and you're going to, as a prime contractor, go to your dashboard. So this is what your dashboard looks like if you're a prime contractor in C2. Okay, I know it's not that big, but that's what it looks like. So what it has, what you can see here, is that you see incomplete, okay, and then you see audit discrepancies. When you're confirming payments that have been made to you by the city of Chicago, you're going to click on the red incomplete audits, okay? Okay. Once you click on the red incomplete audit, okay, it's going to take you to this screen. This screen is going to tell you all the incomplete audits that you have to address, because you can have multiple contracts, you can have multiple vendors, correct, or subcontractors that you have to pay within a given cycle, okay? So this is what it'll look like. And then, of course, as you can see the arrow, it says you click on the red incomplete, okay? So once you click on that, it's going to take you to this screen, okay? And as you read in the red, it tells you basically your obligation, your responsibility to report, to confirm the payment first and foremost, and to report all payments that have been made to your subcontractor, be it $0, be it $1 and above, okay? And it's very important that you do this. So you just go through it, okay, and you follow the prompts, and you see where you click on report the payment, the red highlighted link. So the most important thing is to remember, once you go to your dashboard, you're going to click the red incomplete audit, you're going to go through, you're going to be clicking the red links, okay? Which will take you to, of course, this screen. And then our next screen, so this is an option. So the prime contractor can click on the button, the radio button at the top, that will bring up the screen that allows he or she to pay all of their subs at once, okay, putting in the payment information and the date that they were paid, and if the payment is current or not, or NA, okay, meaning you can't determine if the payment is current or not. Okay, so you have that option. You also have the option of paying your subs one by one. But as a person in compliance, I would recommend doing this. That way you don't miss any subcontractors, okay? So we'll go on to the next slide. So this next slide shows, okay, you making a payment to subcontractors individually. Okay, so say you want to pay TJ Trucking, all right? And you click on, you're at your dashboard, you click on incomplete audit, you go to that next screen that says incomplete audit, you click on that, you click on the other link, and then you select your subcontractor who you just want to pay. When you select that, TJ Trucking, you're going to come to this screen. From this screen, you're going to basically do the same thing that you did on the screen that listed all of your subcontractors. You're just going to enter the payment, okay? You're going to put the payment date in there, and then as I stated, you're going to list if the payment is current, it's not current, or NA, meaning you can't determine if the payment is current or not, all right? And then you can also list comments, okay? You can attach documentation, say an invoice, say a canceled check, say a statement that gives you additional proof that you made a payment to the subcontractor, okay? You can also put in comments that are private, that can be seen by you and DPS, or you could put in public comments that can be seen by you, the subcontractor, and DPS. That makes sense? Okay. on. So, of course, this screen here, now, you as the prime contractor have made your payments to the subcontractor. All right, now it's the subcontractor's turn. So like I mentioned in the overview, the subcontractor will now receive an email telling he or she to go into the C2 system, all right, and to confirm the payment that has been made to them by their prime contractor. So the subcontractor is going to go to the same. You're going to use the same URL, okay? And they're going to go into the system. Their dashboard looks the same as the prime contractors, okay? That dashboard that shows incomplete audit, audit discrepancies. You want to click on, as a subcontractor, the incomplete audit, okay? Then it's going to take you to that next screen that shows the entire list of incomplete audits. You click on that, okay, and then you're going to go into this screen. It's going to tell you your responsibility. So your responsibility as a subcontractor is to go into C2 and to confirm the payment that's been made to you by the prime contractor. I can't stress that enough. And I'll reiterate this throughout the duration of the presentation and sort of give you an explanation as to why I reiterated confirming your payment, okay? So you go in and then you click on that red button, that red link down there to confirm your payment, okay, as a subcontractor. Okay, so it's going to take you to this screen. The screen is familiar, like the screen that we saw when the prime was submitting the payments to the individual subcontractors, okay? This screen that the subcontractor will see has the amount that the prime contractor paid you guys for that particular month. So you go in there and you say if the amount is correct. If it's not correct, then you state that too. And then if the amount is not correct, okay, you give an explanation as to why it's not correct. You go through the other prompts. The subcontractor can also insert a private comment that can be viewed by the compliance department and the subcontractor. They can also insert a comment that's public that can be viewed by the subcontractor, the prime contractor, and the compliance department, okay? So subcontractor goes through that. Let's say, for argument's sake, everything's fine. They say the payment's correct. They answer all the questions. The payment date is correct. It's current. They have no comments, no issues. Everything's gravy. So then they'll put that information in. They'll save it. Okay. Let's go back here. And then the payment process for that particular audit cycle month is complete. Okay. And it's just simply, like I said, the city paying the prime confirming the payment, the prime paying its subcontractors, the subcontractors confirming those payments. That's the cycle in a nutshell, okay, in a perfect world. And this is done continuously on a monthly cycle until the duration of the project, okay? Now, let's move on. All right, this is the good stuff. So say there's a payment discrepancy. What creates a payment discrepancy? Okay, prime contractor pays you. That amount up there was $5,000. So you go in, you say, well, that $5,000 is not correct, all right? And then you note that, and then you know why it's not correct. It's very important. When you disagree with the prime contractor, you know why. And you put as much supporting documentation in there initially up front, so that if it goes to the CCO, the contract compliance officer, being myself or Rulin or Bridget O'Shea or George Moda, who just joined us yesterday as one of our new compliance officers. Welcome, George. Okay, so if it has to go to one of us, okay, we will not have to do as much investigation as we would if you did not add a number of the necessary detail, okay, in your payment information. That's like when Rulin talked about the C1, it's very important for you to put as much detail in your C1 as possible. That shows you're going to be, as a subcontractor, completing a commercially useful function within your area of specialty that relates to the scope of work and the project, okay? So payment discrepancies, you disagree with the prime contractor, you list that information out, okay? Now, once you disagree, you save that, it automatically creates a discrepancy. A discrepancy then prompts emails to be sent out to the prime contractor. You as a subcontractor will get an email, okay, stating that the discrepancy's been noted. So the first thing that has to happen is the prime contractor has to go into C2, all right? They'll go to their dashboard. Go to their dashboard. Now, instead of clicking on incomplete audits, they'll click on audit discrepancies. Okay, so it's gonna take them. It's gonna show the list of discrepancies. Same thing. Okay, but instead of saying incomplete audits, it's gonna say audit discrepancies. Okay, so you're gonna click on the audit discrepancy. Okay, it's gonna take you to the audit discrepancy. You're gonna read the information. Okay. The subcontractor, you said you paid this subcontractor $5,000. The subcontractor said, no, you only paid me $4,000. Okay, then you list your comment in. Then once you list your comment and save it, an email notification goes out to the sub saying, hey, the prime has gone in and addressed the discrepancy. Now it's your turn to go in and respond to the prime's, okay, reply to the discrepancy. So you go in. Let's say, for argument's sake, all right, the prime said, there was a mistake, you know, I should have paid you $4,000 instead of $5,000. All right, that's great. You go in and say, okay, I agree with the prime contractor. You save it. The discrepancy is resolved, meaning the compliance officer doesn't have to get involved, okay? And a lot of times what causes discrepancies, ladies and gentlemen, is just a billing cycle. So say the prime contractor pays you in April, but you were expecting this payment in May, okay? So you're thinking the prime should have paid you a certain amount, all right? But the prime is thinking another thing, all right? So that causes an issue. And just the overall amount. You can receive, the prime could have received an invoice for a certain amount and paid you the wrong amount from that invoice, and you note that in your portion of the payment section in C2. So those are the most common errors that occur that cause discrepancies in the payment process. That makes sense? Okay? So basically, now let's go back to another scenario. Say we have the 5,000. You say you receive 4. Prime goes back in. They respond. They say, "Hey, no, I paid you 5,000." So you go back in and say, "No, you only paid me 4." Oh boy. So now Prime's gone in. They responded. You've gone in as a subcontractor. You responded. The discrepancy hasn't been resolved. So now I look on my dashboard, I see that there's a discrepancy, okay, that's been noted. I click in there, I go into the discrepancy, I see that the prime has responded, I see that the sub's responded. The system's gonna say, hey, waiting for CCO's response. So this is where documentation is very important on both parts. Are you here for the seminars? Are you here for the workshop, sir? Okay, sorry about that. So that's where the documentation is very important, okay? It's important to submit all of your documentation, both on the prime side and both on the subcontractor side. So let's say, in a perfect world, we got this discrepancy, now I'm involved, and now I do my investigation, so I'm reading all the notes, okay, and I'm looking at documentation. And now it's my decision to determine whether the $5,000 is correct or the $4,000 is correct. So if it involves me reaching out to the prime contractor and the sub then that's what I do. And more than likely, I make it a practice to reach out to both the prime and the sub to definitely let them know what decision I'm going to make. Because in the end, you know, the most important thing is reporting the right payment, okay, to the prime, and the prime reporting the right payment to the sub, and the sub confirming, right? So that is basically the payment tracking process. And like I said, the most important thing about this process is to promote transparency, okay? We want to definitely promote transparency through our C2 system and the payments being reported. We want to make sure the payments are correct, okay, so that we can ensure as compliance officers that the prime is meeting their obligations, okay, as it relates to the MBE, WBE, and DBE goals. Okay, they agreed to, what they committed to as part of the original contract. So that concludes, okay, this particular workshop. Are there any questions? Okay, so the system is missing. You like the system, but it's missing one big factor. Well, what factor is that? Supplier payment. You need to elaborate on that. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, honestly, that's a much bigger issue than C2. I have to say, it really does, because, like I said, and I have to stress this. Okay, so the city of Chicago pays the prime, makes a payment to the prime. Okay, and then you, as the prime, you have to go in to the C2 system, and you have to pay your subcontractors. Now, one of your subcontractors can be a supplier. And then that supplier can have subcontractors, second-tier subs reporting to them, who are not necessarily in C2. And that's where the problem. So, okay, so the supplier doesn't pay the people that are the contractors that they're working with. And those people put a lien on that particular job. So you as a prime contractor now are faced with this dilemma of a lien. So unfortunately, that's outside of my arena. I would have to say, Roland or Bridget, do you guys have any comments to add to his question? package to pay those liens, those subs? No, not at all. Mhm. Right, right. Mm, yeah. See, that's an occupational hazard. Your invoice, you submit it to the user department, absolutely. Mhm. 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 It does. For that to move land again. Yeah. Right. So why did you give the waiver and not receive the check? So. Mhm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, okay. So you've never found yourself in that situation. So you've paid all of your waivers. Right? That's good. Right. 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 Any other questions? So what you're saying is you received a waiver, or you gave a prime contractor a waiver, and the prime contractor never paid you? That's what you're saying? Yes or no? So did you get paid? Yes or no? Okay. Maybe. I'm going to, I would say no. I would say no. Yeah, I would say no. But the way you made it sound is that you gave them a waiver and you never got paid. And then you couldn't confirm it. You know, you were not adamant about, okay, okay, okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we got it. We definitely got it now. Thank you. Hmm. Yes. good we have a prime contractor in the room. Just timely. Okay. All right. Okay. Right, right. Well, typically our Department of Finance uploads all of the payments that have been made to a particular vendor on our website. And yeah, oh, did he just leave his bag? So yeah, you can actually go onto the website, and I can give you that website. I don't know it offhand. You go into the particular contract, and you can see all the payments that have been made to that prime contractor by the city of Chicago. Yes, absolutely. So that duration is typically it'll say 7 days or more, but we have it set up where it's about 15 days. So the prime, and it'll say, let's go up here, let's see. So it'll tell you when it's due. So say this particular prime has until, well, it's due on 5/31/2015. So the payment, he's current now, okay? And then after that 5/31, payment becomes past due. So now it'll show on our system in red, okay, that now that payment is past due. So what we do on our end is we'll send another notice out to the prime. Hey, prime contractor, you received the payment, all right, payment's past. Your reporting period is past due. Please log on to the system immediately and report all the payments that you've made to your subcontractor. Then, no, that's ridiculous. No, and I excuse that last comment. But no. No, absolutely not. The prime should not withhold payments. What's going to happen, okay, it's going to show on our end, on the administrative end, that you as a sub have not gone in and confirmed this payment that the prime contractor has reported to your firm. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to send out another notice, a reminder to you, okay, if within a certain period of time, if we're going into the next audit cycle, if I have to reach out to you via phone, okay, so I'll call you, okay, let's see. So I'll call you, basically, where's that information? It's in there, somewhere. Well, at some point, we're going to step in, because you have to confirm as a sub. Yeah, basically. You're gonna still get paid by your prime, especially if you perform the work. But this is the reporting of the payment that the prime has made to you as a sub. So this is not conditional. So the prime shouldn't say, well, I'm not going to pay you if you don't go into C2 and confirm. All right? I mean, they shouldn't. Right. 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 Yeah. So that's me reaching out to you, saying, hey, subcontractor, why haven't you confirmed? And 9 times out of 10, they'll say, oh, we just forgot or we haven't had the time, and they'll go in immediately and confirm those payments. But to answer your question, the prime contractor should not be withholding payments from the sub because the sub has not gone into C2 and confirmed the payment from a prior cycle. Okay, next question. Yes, ma'am. Then they'll probably note that when they're. Well, then you go to you lean towards on your subcontract agreement, because within your subcontract agreement you should have a clause in there to state when the subcontractor is going to make a payment to your firm. So it could be 210, 350, 35, or net 30. A lot of times we see net 30, okay, and if it's net 30 and they're within that that subcontract agreement clause, you guys just wait it out. Yes. Right. Because I mean, we set this the way that we set it because we want the prime to go in immediately. As soon as you get the email, go in there immediately and report the payment. Okay. So and then the sub shouldn't. I mean, the prime contractor shouldn't be waiting. Okay, I'm just going to wait to pay the subcontractor. Hopefully, the prime contractor can pay you within a reasonable amount of time when you as a subcontractor have submitted invoices for work that you performed. Does that make sense? Okay. And like I said, are there any other questions? Absolutely. Absolutely not. Right. And this is how the city of Chicago, our department, ensures that the certification programs, okay, are flourishing. Is that by the prime reporting these payments to their subcontractors? Because one of my main jobs is doing reports, payment reports on a monthly basis to see have the primes been paying their subs in a timely manner, and if not, we sort of target those prime contractors and we reach out to them and say, hey, we noticed that you haven't been paying your subcontractors on time. Why? Give us an explanation, and let's come up with a solution to remedy the situation or the issue. Okay? So it's very important. It's very important for prime contractors to go in and confirm their payments that have been made to them by the city of Chicago, and it's just equally important for you as subcontractors to go in and confirm those payments. And if there are any issues, call us. DPS compliance, absolutely. Bridget? So let us know sooner rather than later. Be very proactive rather than reactive, okay? RC2 system is just for the city of Chicago. Well, contracts that go through, yes. Transportation, yes. Yes, they do. So absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Right, right, right. Oh, I'm sorry. You ran into an accident. You were not involved, right? Okay. Well, we're glad that you made it. Definitely. You know. Are there any other questions? Now, I do have my business card, Rulin and Bridget, if you guys want to take our cards, and maybe you may have a question after you leave the workshop today and you want to reach out to us, you know, at a later time. I know that Kate's going to call me tomorrow. Um, we have some things to talk about. Anyone else? Anyone else? And then I have to get your information. I didn't get your name. Ma'am, reading the resource guide, I didn't get your name. Donna Evans. Well, Miss Evans, I'm going to take your information and I'm going to give you a call tomorrow.